There is no doubt that more and more people in this world like to have cats. There are currently about 600 million cats in the world. And people in almost every country have cats. In the United States, about 30% of households have cats. Cats have become a friend of human beings. However, the earliest cats and humans did not live together. It was only about 10,000 years ago that cats came into contact with humans. During their long coexistence with humans, cats solved the problem of agricultural society, rodent infestation, which allowed humans to live in abundance. And in return, humans began to feed cats. About 4,000 years ago in ancient Egypt, cats and humans began to become close partners. In ancient Egypt, if someone killed a cat, he would be sentenced to death. And if a human and a cat fell into the water at the same time, the first was to save the cat, and the second to save the human. After death, they would be mummified and buried in cemeteries or temples. The number of cat mummies found in archaeology far exceeds that of humans, which shows how much the ancient Egyptians loved cats. Although cats and humans have lived together for thousands of years, their behavior often eludes us, as if they were from a different planet than us, with some mystery. Here we will elaborate on the reasons behind these phenomena. Number 1. Are you puzzled by the fact that cats often stare at a wall without moving, yet there is nothing on the wall? Because cats' eyes are different from humans, they can often see things that people can't, such as ultraviolet light. Or maybe they are looking at some dust and small bugs on the wall, which are insignificant to humans, but important to sensitive cats. In addition, the cat's hearing is also very sharp, more than 3 times that of humans. And they can precisely locate the direction. They can distinguish 2 different sound sources 20 meters away from each other 1 meter. So when they stare motionlessly at the wall, they may be listening carefully to the sound of crawling bugs. And it is distinguishing which direction they come from. Number 2. Why do cats like to hide in cardboard boxes? Have you ever had the experience of buying a toy for a kitten, unpacking the box, and taking out the toy, when it turns out to be more interested in the cardboard box? This is because cats inherited the habits of their ancestors. In ancient times, before cats were domesticated, they usually needed to hide from large animals in the wild. And hiding in narrow spaces can prevent carnivores from attacking them from the back or side. Hiding in a box will make them feel safe and cozy. Sometimes for cats, no matter how expensive or good a toy is, it is not as good as a cardboard box. Number 3. Why do cats like to smell shoes? The moment you get home and change your shoes, have you ever observed a cat pouncing on your shoes, burrowing its head into them and sniffing them over and over again, seemingly enjoying it? Regarding this phenomenon, zoologists have suggested the following possibilities. Cats have a very sensitive sense of smell, 40 times more sensitive than humans. And they perceive the world around them usually through smell rather than vision. Also, cats are very curious animals. Sniffing your shoes may be to know if you have been in contact with other cats. And if so, it must be able to smell them. The second possibility is that mammals generally have marking behavior, leaving their scent in a place as a way to declare territorial sovereignty. Therefore, the cat will leave its smell everywhere, and only when this smell is spread throughout the room will the cat feel more at ease. Number 4. Why do cats like to blink slowly at you? It is often said that a cat's slow wink to you represents a signal of love, which is called a cat kiss. Although no one knows what the cat is thinking, it is certain that this action means that it is letting down its guard and trusting you. If the next time your cat blinks slowly at you, you can respond in the same way. And most of the time, it will keep blinking at you. Number 5. Why do cats sometimes suddenly become aloof? Sometimes cats can seem cold and ignore you, no matter how much their owners try to please them. Don't worry, it's not because you did something wrong, but cats themselves are relatively independent and they are not human-centered, which has to do with their domestication. Secondly, they live in this world, also have their own troubles. Maybe the noise outside. Maybe flying insects disturbed its nap. More likely emotional problems. At the moment, it just wants to be left alone for a while. We have to do is like treating roommates, do not disturb them can. And so their mood has become better, they will naturally play happily with us. Number 6. Why do cats often push things off the table? Sometimes, cats will push a pen or a cup of coffee off the table. You may wonder about this and whether it is intentional. It has to do with its instinct to play with prey. When cats need to hunt prey, they will fiddle with them to see if they will move and then continue to interact with it. If the objects on the table catch its interest, it would fiddle with them to see if it would move. And so, accidentally, it knocks them over.